RKO the infamous NWO back with another video doing my UFC 137 pay-per-view review. This pay-per-view happened this past Saturday night, and let's get started with the first match on the card. This is on the main card only. I'll be reviewing Hatsu Hayaoki versus George Rope. So this is Hatsu Hayaoki's UFC debut. He's a very popular fighter in Japan and recognized all over Japan as a popular MMA fighter. Going up against George Rope. Actually, this fight was a decent fight. Pretty much, Hayaoki's plan was to take George Rope to the ground, pretty much dominating on the ground. But George Rope, defending the takedown, some of them Hayaoki got Rope to the ground sometimes, but George Rope defending, getting Hayaoki back up on his feet. The match ended 3-round split decision to Hayaoki. And I did think he did enough to get the decision win. I think he won. To my eyes, he won the first and the third round, but that's me. Next match we have is Scott Jorgensen versus Jeff Curran. Another decent fight. A lot of back and forth action, but Scott pretty much did enough he could do to get the decision. Next we have for the heavyweights fighting by Mirko Cro Cop versus Big Country Nelson. Pretty much I thought this match was going to be a stand-up battle, which it was. A lot of back and forth with Roy Nelson and Cro Cop. Nelson trying to get Cro Cop to the ground, trying to dominate him, but Cro Cop getting back up. Cro Cop second round pretty much beating up Roy Nelson, giving some heavy shots to the face, but we saw in previous fights from Nelson that he could take some heavy shots. And pretty much in the third round, Roy Nelson got the best of Cro Cop, took him to the ground, beat him down, and then got a third round TKO over Mirko Cro Cop. And then we found out that Mirko Cro Cop, that was Mirko Cro Cop's last fight. He'll be retiring, and yeah, so Mirko Cro Cop, his career is pretty much over. He is now retiring. Next match, another heavyweight match, we got Matt Mitrione versus Cheick Kongo. This match was a pretty decent fight, back and forth, but Kongo pretty much dominating throughout the fight and got the third round, well, pretty much the decision. And the main event of the evening, we got BJ Penn going up against Nick Diaz. Oh, let me take a drink of water. That's some good water. So everyone knows the controversy throughout this main event where GSP was supposed to fight Diaz. Diaz got dropped. Condit and Diaz switched places for their bouts. GSP got injured, so this got bumped up to the main event. But yeah, this pretty much in the weigh-ins. They had an epic stare down, which got a lot of people hyped up, got a lot of people talking. If you guys knew the background, these guys used to be former trading partners, former friends. These guys trained together. But 2 years ago, Nick, the kind of guy he is, he doesn't like fighting his friend no matter what, but he was forced to. And yeah, this was just pretty much everyone thought this was going to be a brawl, and that's what it was. A 3-round stand-up pretty much throughout the whole thing. BJ took Nick down to the ground a couple times. In the first round, he tried to get him to the rear naked choke, but he didn't get the hooks in, so that didn't work out. But BJ dominated the first round. Well, not dominate. He did enough to win the first round, and the next 2 rounds, Nick Diaz just beat up BJ Penn and gave him a huge swollen eye. His face was all beaten up, and these 2 guys were beaten up throughout pretty much after the fight. And the decision went to Diaz, and I saw him. In my eyes, he won the second and third round, and he won by decision. But tremendous fight on the night for sure. It did win fight on the night, $750,000, and we found out that BJ Penn, that was his last fight. He is now retiring too. So 2 major guys in the sport are now retiring: BJ Penn and Mirko Cro Cop. BJ Penn got sent to the hospital, and then Nick Diaz pretty much called out GSP, saying how he wasn't injured and he wants another fight with him for the title. And we did find out at the press conference that Dana White said Condit has stepped down, and Nick Diaz versus GSP Super Bowl weekend, which I believe will probably be UFC 143 or 44. Actually, probably 143. or 144 GSP versus Diaz, the original fight that was supposed to happen, and GSP has some heavy competition on his hand facing Nick Diaz. After seeing what he did to BJ Penn, and we've never seen BJ Penn that beat up. But yeah, that was my UFC 137 pay-per-view review. Hope you enjoyed the show. Overall, it's a decent show, but was not worth ordering pay-per-view, and I'm glad I didn't order on pay-per-view. But the next fight we'll be getting is UFC 138 live on Spike TV, which will be this coming Saturday. So expect some prediction video later on this week and a review, because actually that same day, because in Canada we get it live at 3 o'clock, and in America and everyone else they get it taped on Spike at 8 o'clock. So I'll probably have the results before the actual show is even started. So yeah. And UFC on Fox is the week after, which is another free card, Velasquez versus Dos Santos, which is was gonna spend the $50 to buy the pay-per-view, because I've been waiting for this fight for over a year now. I knew this fight was coming. And the last fight, and the next fight after that is UFC 138 and 139, Hendo versus the Shogun, and Lieben, Kung Lee versus what's his face, Vanderlei Silva. That should be a good card too. So yeah, bunch of UFCs. So we're getting 4 UFCs in a row, and another 3 UFCs. So pretty much 4 UFCs in a row in the next month. So yeah, ton of cards in the month of November. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and that is it.